Hi and welcome back to Lizard Studios. Today you are going to be finishing your print that we started last week. We're going to review all of that, and we are also going to talk about artist Jackson Pollock and his work that really inspires me, and it inspires many people. Okay, so let's get our materials ready and begin today's lesson. So here are today's materials. I am going to be using some gold paint because I want to do some little designs in gold. You could use any color paint you want, but 2 more colors of paint. You're gonna need a cardboard, the color of the first paint that you used. The first paint, for example, I used red at the beginning, so now I'm gonna use a red cardboard, okay, for the end to frame it. You're gonna need garbage bags cut like I showed you on the first lesson. Okay, you cut them. You're gonna need scissors, the size of your hand, big or small. You're gonna need a pencil, 1 pencil or 2, it depends on the back of your pencil because we're gonna be using these bags, okay? And then you're gonna need your paintbrush, a water cup, and a napkin, okay? So that's what we need for today. So let's talk about Jackson Pollock. Well, I am really inspired by Jackson Pollock's work because even though they were paintings, okay, they were very unique paintings because Jackson Pollock used to put his canvas where he was going to paint on the floor, and he used to take his paint bottles and throw paint on it. He used to take his broom and he used to sweep on the paint. He used to take sticks and he used to draw on the paint with the sticks, just taking away the paint. And he made really big, humongous, huge, big, just gigantic canvases full of paint and textures that was all abstract. And I love abstract work. That's why I like these prints so much, because they're abstract and really you never know what's going to happen, because Jackson Pollock didn't know what was going to happen when he started his paintings. He would just throw things on it and then he would just feel what he saw on the floor and he will continue it, okay? He worked in movement all the time, and that's how we're working today. We are working in movement. We don't really know what we are going to see. We don't have an expectation of what we are going to see. It's all a surprise. So he really inspires me and I want to share it with you. So now that we will begin our work, okay? Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is take my print and put it here because I need to put the paint on my plastic bag, okay? Remember, plastic bags need to be more or less the same size of your print, okay? So I am more or less going to figure out the size so I could put the paint on it. And the first paint that I'm going to put on here is gonna be the black paint. So I'm gonna take it, I'm going to put it in the middle, okay, not too much because black paint really spreads out. I'm going to take my paintbrush, take the water off a little bit, and just, if you don't take the water off, it's going to be like here, you see? And remember, I told you that you can make designs on your bag, more or less the size of what you're doing here, okay? So, like I made lines that were horizontal the first time. Remember, the purple lines were horizontal. Now I am going to make some vertical lines right here. Okay, and see how if I use a lot of water, this is what happens. I get this effect, all right? So I'm gonna use those lines, and I'm gonna use also just like if it was raining, kind of droplets like this, but going vertical, just going vertical. I'll take away this paint from here, put some more here, and then you have to do this really quickly, okay? So let's see what happens. You take your print, you take the newspaper, the plastic bag off, and now you take it from the top, from the bottom, more or less measure where you're gonna put it, and there you go. Just set it down, press, and look what happens. And now we take it off. And remember, you take the bag, you fold it in half, take it from the middle. This is the easiest way. Take it from the middle, it folds by itself, okay? Press it together, take it by the middle, and take it by the middle. And that's the trick to not getting paint all over the place, okay? So now I have my black paint on here. What am I gonna do next? Well, I want to put some swirls. Why not? You can make hearts, you can make shapes. On this one, you can make shapes. You can make circles, you can make squares, you can make anything you want. Swirls. I'm gonna make swirls, and I'm gonna put them in several parts of my print. So let's see. I take my print, I put it to the side. I take my newspaper. I take my plastic bag. I always use my newspaper. So look, this time I'm gonna take this plastic bag, okay? The one that has like glue on it, so you can see that it's okay to use like words on your plastic bag, because what really is going to transfer to the other surface is the paint. So I take my paint, put it in the middle, and this time what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dry my brush really, really, really well. No water on this brush, okay? No water, okay? And now I am just going to make that same, see, when you don't put water on the paint spreads all over, see? And it's amazing. And this time, I'm just gonna make the square, more or less that size. If you need more paint, just add a little bit more, okay? I really like gold for abstract work. I don't know, gold or silver. It's always really nice to see it on abstract work. I guess I'm a child of the 80s. So in the 80s, there was a lot of gold and silver going on. So, yeah. So it's just one of those things that I like. Okay? So, here we go. We take the print, we put it down here, and we calculate where we're gonna put our gold. Now, I'm not gonna press it down. I'm just going to set it on top, like this. I'm not pressing. And I'm going to take my pencil, the back of my pencil, and I'm just going to draw swirls. A big one here. Smaller one here, then a big one here, and another one here. And, are you ready? I'm so excited. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, look at that. Amazing. So you take your paint, you fold back in, fold, fold, and put it away. And now look at the print. I have the swirls, and it looks like it's actually in red because the gold got taken away. And now we are finished with our print. What do we need to do now? Well, we need to take away the frame. So we just very carefully, we take the tape off very carefully. Okay. Very careful. There we go. And see the frame? We just put it to the side. It's gonna be a little bit wet, so the best thing to do is to let it dry. Now I have here the actual print, and it's just amazing. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut around it. I'm just gonna leave an edge around it, okay? Just like this. Maybe one finger of an edge. And this is really, really, really professional. So if you are an entrepreneur, you can actually start selling your prints, or you could start giving them to somebody as a present or as a gift. I think people will really appreciate these, that you actually made these and you are giving it to them. So this is what I usually do. I take the print and I put it on top of the first color that I used, because that's the color that is going to be like in the background, and you want that color to come up. So if you use a color, the color that you used first, the first color you used, it's gonna come out, and you're gonna see more the swirls and everything that you make on it, or the hearts or the circles or any shape that you make on it. Okay, so this is the way to make an abstract mono print. So let's go over what you have done today and what you have done last week. The first thing that we made was a frame. We made a frame to put on our white piece of paper, all right? And on that white piece of paper, we started taking plastic bags, putting the paint on the plastic bags, and actually started to print by pressing, by rubbing, okay, by rubbing. Remember those zigzag lines? See, they're in the back here, okay? You can still see a little bit of those zigzag lines in the back. Then we finished it by putting the rest of the colors. I don't suggest more than 4 colors because that will be too much, so pick your colors well, all right? And then when you're finished, you cut around it and you frame it like this. You glue it. I'm not gonna glue it down now because my print is still wet and I don't want to get it, I don't want to mess it up, all right? And I don't want to get it on my fingers either. So I'm going to wait for the print to be dry, and then I am going to glue it here. Remember, you always sign your artwork. So I'm going to sign here, Liz Art 2020. All right? Now, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this class. And I will see you next week in our next class. So I will see you soon. Bye bye.